Did you know ASBN, America's Small Business Network, is now available on your TV? That's right. ASBN is now streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire Stick, and available for download in the App Store. Scan the QR code to download the ASBN app today. Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Cheyenne Malone, exclusively on ASBN.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Cheyenne Malone. You're watching another edition of the Small Business Show exclusively on ASBN.com and now streaming on Roku, Fire Stick, and Apple TV. Today we are talking about success and really what it takes to get there, to make it to the next level so many of us strive for, right? Joining us now, Laura Casselman, CEO of JV Zoo, co-founder of Vida-street, and Wall Street Journal best-selling author. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. I want to talk about your book, your latest book, Trust Your Increments, How Small, Consistent Steps Can Lead to Massive Success. First, tell us a little bit about your journey, because you started from the bottom, right? And you've strived to be the best you can be and made it to the top. Break that down for us.
Sure. So I am a small town South Carolina girl who moved to New York City with big dreams of dancing with the Radio City Rockettes, which I achieved, and it was wonderful. However, I always knew that I wasn't going to retire from dance and open a dance studio. So while I was in New York, I built both resumes at the same time, corporate America and my dance resume. When I stopped dancing with the Rockettes, I stepped into my first executive position in a national chain and just kept growing from there. But the thing is, I was always working, and I never was just out partying in New York City. Not that many people are just doing that. In fact, the majority of people in New York City are on the grind every day.
And what inspired you to write this book?
Well, I first just wanted to share business advice, and I wasn't even going to sell the book. I was just going to share it with consulting clients that I had, because I was repeating the same things over and over again. So I thought, let me just write them down in one central place so I can save myself time, and then I can just say, here's this Google Doc. But what I found is that when I went to get feedback from friends and other business resources, they all said, you can't possibly write this book without sharing the very real thing that women go through on their climb up the corporate ladder, and share how you've done that while maintaining positivity the whole way. So that was incorporated, and then I decided to go with publishing.
And can you give us some key takeaways from your book?
Absolutely. So I believe that anyone can achieve success. I say all the time, nothing about me is unique or special. I am just really great at making a plan, breaking that plan down into every small step, and working my plan. I go so far as to break my big goals of each year down to quarters, to weeks, and then into days. And I work my plan every single day. I don't finish one day without writing tomorrow's list out and coming in and working that. And of course, now I have teams. So my teams have lists, and I'm doing the big overall picture with high-level tasks only, but the sentiment is the same.
And you do mention the 15-step plan in your book. Can you kind of tell us a little bit more about that and what it means?
Well, the 15 steps are more or less 15 pieces of advice that I share, because I continue to see companies, especially in this world we live in, where it's a lot easier with our computers right at our fingertips to start businesses, in particular online businesses. And people forget basic business steps that protect you. And so I say things like starting with your operating agreement. Doesn't matter if you started your company with your best friend. Money changes things, and people's wants and desires change as we age as well. So while you may have the same plan as your business partner right now, in 10 years, you may not. So plan for your breakup of your business in the same way you would plan to protect your marriage or your assets in an agreement before you got married.
What do you want readers to walk away with?
I want readers to walk away not only believing in their own abilities, but knowing how to execute on their own abilities.
And, someone who may feel maybe a bit discouraged by the slow process and wanting to become successful, but it's just not happening, what words do you have for someone like that?
Really hone in on what it is that you are trying to achieve. A lot of times people are saying, I want to achieve success, but that's very broad. You need to narrow in on what success means to you and what that very next step is for you. And then only work towards that. When you get there, make the next milestone.
We obviously have, generation after generation, right? And things evolve and things change. When you see, people nowadays thinking, oh, that's an overnight success, or what's the saying? I think overnight success happens with 10 years of work.
That's right.
Are there truly any overnight success stories that you know of? And what does it really take to become that overnight success?
So yes, there are businesses that may be young and those businesses skyrocket. And there are always instances of being in the right place at the right time with the right idea. But those are not the massive amount of successful businesses. And while a business may see success in its first 3 years, it may not make it till its 5th year. And so it's important that behind the scenes work that may go into this new company, but that person spent years developing the knowledge and testing things. This may be a new company, but all that knowledge comes into play to build this, and that they know how to handle turbulent times when they arise, because they always will arise. And you don't have to have the answers, but you do have to know how to find them.
When you think about maybe your social circles or just people in the professional world who are successful that you have come into contact with as yourself, is there one thing that maybe they share in common, or maybe a few things that they all have the same?
Absolutely. Every single person that's in my circle believes in their own abilities, and they believe that they will win. In fact, there's a statistic that says 95% of all winning is done by only 5% of the participants. And the thing that's in common with that 5% is that they all have a winning mindset. So really, the first step of anything is to believe in your abilities. And for people that struggle with self-confidence and belief, my one piece of advice would be you need to start taking daily steps towards your goals. Your confidence muscle is a muscle like any other body. You have to work it out frequently in order for it to grow strong.
Makes sense. And do you feel like everyone at the end of the day can be successful in their own right?
I do. I think success is personal. It's your own definition of success. Forget what you were told when you were a child or what anyone else in your circle thinks that it is. You define it, and then you make your own plan and work your plan to your success.
Any final thoughts for us, Laura?
Well, I'm a big believer that we should all find what we're good at doing and share that with the world. So if you're not certain what you're good at doing, ask your friends, ask them what you're best at, why they come to you for advice or just want to be around you. And the more you can put that out in the world, I believe the happier you'll be and the happier place the world will be.
Laura Casselman, CEO of JV Zoo, co-founder of Vida-street, and Wall Street Journal bestselling author. Thanks so much for your time today. You were great.
Thank you.
And thank all of you for watching the Small Business Show exclusively right here on ASBN.com and now streaming on Roku, Fire Stick, and Apple TV.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Jim
Cheyenne
Fitzpatrick,
Malone.
exclusively on ASBN.com.